course, I thought our young men really, tuned that out and concentrated very much on the game. But you can tell both teams are excited and ready to play. Army wins the toss and elects to receive the football. And, John, it's so important that the number of possessions you have when you're playing against a run-oriented football team because, you really burn a lot of time off the clock. But Chris kicks the ball, and they return it back in pretty good field position. And
here goes
we really got off to a bad start in the ball game. In the first play, we have an assignment breakdown. We miss a tackle, and this is, the ability of Crawford. Great play by E.J. Jones and Oliver there, and, of course, they were hustling. And, we knocked him out on the 3-yard line, but then they give it to Benny Wright, and he takes it in. And that's only his second, score of the season. But, boy, with Jones and Wright back there, both 200-pound backs, they pack a pretty good load.
That's exactly what they wanted to do. They got off to the quick start.
They really did, and I think it really gave them an emotional lift in the football game, gave them some confidence, and this is Tommy now coming back, and we get out from behind the wedge a little bit there. They make a good hit, and we average 24 yards of return on kickoffs, and I thought that was pretty good. This is the second play of the game, and we got a little predetermined play there, and Pat reads it extremely well, and we get about 9 yards and get a first down. Then we throw on first down, and, of course, this is what happens. When you don't complete or you don't get the call on first down, then, now you've got second and long yardage.
They get the ball back.
That's right, and Tommy coming up. Brady Glick making a shoestring grab there. Tommy making the hit. A fine hit by Terry Mackey there. And, of course, we're now getting into the feel of the game and basically getting a feel for their game plan. We stop them. They, of course, have to punt, and Jimmy pitches right at the last minute after Robbie Kraus. I thought Robbie did a good job. Gained 80 yards for us in his first varsity start. Fine play here by Ty Hankerman. And, of course, we're swapping the ball back and forth now a little bit.
A lot of time possession used up in the wishbone.
Oh, it really is. And, Johnny, you look back over the course of the game, we both had the ball 11 possessions, but really and truly they had it 11, we had it 8 because we got it with 50 seconds to go in the first half, and then, of course, in the start of the second half, we turned it over the first play, and then right at the end of the game, we got it with 50 seconds to go. Gives you some idea of the strength of Jones there. He's 205 pounds. He's a fine player, and, of course, we had a little trouble getting him down right there. And to be honest with you, John, we didn't tackle very well the first half. Just didn't play real sharp like I'd hoped we would. Here's, of course, Crawford keeping on the option play and, only had a yard to go there and slithers in. And, of course, they go up 14-0 now, and this is really building confidence in them.
Here's Jimmy Tamalo with the pitch.
Jimmy pitching extremely well right here to Mark, and Mark had a fine football game, I thought. And, we moved the football for the most part all day long. Jimmy taking it down the sideline again, not room there to pitch. And, we're moving the football, and I thought we came back out and had a very good drive right here. Great catch. No, this is where they come in and sack us. And then we go for it on fourth down. That's exactly right.
Big play right here and a great catch and a great pass.
Oh, a great pass by Jimmy. Great protection by our offensive line. Tyrone just goes up and takes the ball right there from Connor. And, we've got a first down now. But, again, we weren't able to get the touchdown. And when you get down that close, you got to be able to get the touchdown. And, again, that's a third down play. And we weren't able to get the ball off to our dump guy, and then Chris comes on and kicks the ball through for us. And we felt it was very important at that particular stage of the game, John, to get points rather than go for it on fourth down.
All right, it's 14-3, and you can see there's a little over 3 minutes remaining in the half. They mount another drive here.
Well, this is Crawford again keeping, and then, this is Kevin Martin right there. Michael Tolliver coming in for the hit. But, again, they get the needed first down on third down. And then they take the ball and drive down there and try the field goal. Rambush just comes up wide to the right a little bit right there, and that's a big break for us. But now we don't have very good field position, and, of course, now we just got to run out the clock, and this is the last play of the first half. We missed the block there, but, we were in such deep field position right there, we probably couldn't have gotten on the board, before the half.
All right, it's 14-3, Coach. I felt like your team was picking up momentum at the end of the second quarter, and you really came out fired out in the second half. What'd you tell them? First of all, you knew both teams weren't going to quit.
Well, I told them that was the reason, to be honest with you, that, we play two halves of football. Whenever you don't play very good the first half, by goodness, you got a second half to come back and redeem yourself. And that's what our young men did. I really, admire and salute their effort. I told them that after the game. We played a very determined second half, and, they had just gotten the upper hand on us as the first half. They kick off to us. Tommy gets the ball back up for us in real good field position, doesn't want to go down right there. And now, we start the second half the same way we did the first half, and we have a miscue there, and Jimmy just left it in there a little bit too long, a little state of indecision right there, and we give them great field position right there to start the second half. But our defense did an outstanding job. Great play right here on third down by Steve Spiewak. That's right, that's Steve. And that was a great play. And then they go for it on 4th down right here, and you have a offensive pass interference call, which of course is a loss of down. And that was a big play for us in the ball game, and a great hit. And they, dropped the ball. And then of course they go for it. And, I mean, they punt the ball out on the 3-yard line, and it didn't look good for field position there. But our offense comes off the ball good. We establish Jimmy's keeping the ball very well here. Pitches right at the last minute. A well-executed play. And Robbie breaks it tackle there, and this is a 57-yard gain for us. And that was an outside linebacker that ran him down from the backside. But now we've got the ball in great field position. And this was a fine drive. 97 yards, and Mark Manafo takes it in right there. Some fine blocking by
Hendrickson and Garcia.
Right,
you
and
decided
Garcia
to go for the 2 points, Coach.
We sure did, because we felt like that we needed the 2, because that would have forced us to have to score again. Now we can kick the field goal to tie the game. And when you're playing away from home, and of course our 2-point chart told us that, and that decision was made before we ever got into that particular position in the ball game, John.
Well, I felt like you had the momentum. Your defense was playing great, but this guy, I think he had his best game I've seen him have.
Well, he really did. He's the ideal wishbone quarterback. He can dart and dash, and but I felt like our defense, like you said, really played determined football the second half. Fine play by Johnny Steed from the backside. We got caught a couple of times from the backside, too. And our offense, we moved the football pretty much all afternoon. There wasn't that much difference in the offensive output by both teams. But, again, Crawford keeps the ball on the option play, and he can find those cracks and crevices in there, and fine play here on Jones by Chad Hennings. And that was a real big play.
Well, that's the end of the 3rd quarter. You're still obviously very much in it, 14-11.
14-11, and now we're going to kick the ball right here at the beginning of the 4th quarter, and that's a fine punt by Mark. We out-punted them 7 yards in the ball game, and when you do that, by goodness, you ought to win the football game. Good coverage down there by Nate Cunningham. And we're forcing them away from the line of scrimmage. And you see, John, now in this half, we're coming up and we're attacking behind the line of scrimmage. And that's what you got to do, and that's what we weren't allowed to do. We forced them to have to punt the ball now, and this is a fine clutch play right here to Frank Martini by Jimmy.
Get a drive going again, a good drive.
Good drive going, and this was a call play, and Jimmy felt the soft spot. They had good coverage downfield, and a fine 19-yard pickup by him. But again, that was a critical 3rd down play right there. Great effort on the part of Brock. What a competitor he is. And we have to go for the field goal to tie it up. And I felt at that particular time, to go for the tie was very important, because I thought it would give us new life. And, of course, Chris just barely missed the ball to the left. And, that's going to happen. And, hey, I've got all the confidence in the world in Chris. And he's a fine kicker, and he's going to have many great games for the Academy. This play really concerned me a little bit, though, to be honest. We got great hustle on the play, but it was 3rd down and 7 yards to go, knowing that they were going to throw play-action passing. But we have good hustle down there by Steve Sigler, great play by Talley, and, of course, we recovered the ball in the end zone for a touchback, and now that gives us good life and new life.
Well, here's Jimmy running around, and this is going to be a big drive for you. We're getting late in the ball game.
Well, Jimmy gets the needed 1st down for us right there, and we know now we've got to throw the ball a little bit. Fine play right here, except, we just miss it. And, boy, is he wide open. And then on 4th down, I just felt with 3 minutes and 46 seconds to go, we needed some speed on the corner, so we go with our freshman quarterback. And I tell you one thing, John, we're going to go for the win. I'm telling you that. And that was 4th down. And, of course, a lot of people thought maybe we might should have kicked the ball with 3 minutes, 46 seconds, but we hadn't caused a turnover all afternoon. And, of course, that face mask call right there really hurt us. And, of course, they only had 34 yards to go for the score. We gave them 15 yards in that drive. And then, of course, they were able to keep getting 2 or 3 yards at a clip, and then Crawford carried it in, and, for the score, and that's all to put the game out of reach with just 53 seconds left to go in the game.
All righty, and this is going to do it right here. Dallas, really, what a great Army.
He's got a fine arm, and what a great future he's going to have as a future Falcon. And, he's under the gun. The times we've used him have been under duress a little bit, and but this is the last play of the game, and look how far he throws this football. And we just throw a Hail Mary pass right there, hoping that we'll get pass interference call or the ball will go up for a tip or whatever. But, our young men never quit fighting. The Army team never quit fighting. Of course, that's why it's such a great game. And, this is what it's all about. I think both teams learned a lot of lessons yesterday. It's going to really help them become great leaders, for our great Air Force and for the great Army. And, that's what Service Academy football is all about.
I know you told me after the Notre Dame game that the Falcons would be back, and there's no doubt the Falcons will be back.
Well, our young men's pride was hurt an awful lot. It was a very somber dressing room, but yet at the same time, I told them there are a lot of things good things ahead for this football team, and when they walk out of here, hold their heads up, because they did come back and play like true champions that second half. We didn't get off to a good start. We dug a hole for ourselves, and honestly, when you get, you get as many penalties as we do, and you give up as you did, and if you give up as many big plays as we did, then you're going to, you put yourself in trouble, and that's exactly what we did. We let them get control of the game early, but our young men certainly came back and fought extremely hard, and I salute them for that.
All right, Coach, we've got a special treat for all of you Air Force Falcon football fans. We're going to hear how Derek Foster's doing. We'll have that and a lot more right after this. Mom and his entire family a little bit after the game, a special young man in your program.
Oh, he really is, and to see the tremendous improvement in his life and the great miracle of healing, I think that was sort of the bright spot of the day for us, so to speak. But it was so great to visit with Derek and his family, and praise the Lord, he's doing so well and going to school in Philadelphia and has